Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above a chimney top, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dream that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I? I. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Unrelenting Alchemist, all spiritual all the time. Today's theme is Run Towards the Calling, wisdom from spirituality about courage and persistence. And so there's something you have wanted to do in your heart for a very long time, but you whisper to yourself, it's too late now. I've let my time pass. Maybe I'm getting too old. Maybe I've missed my chance. Or worse, you feel like a pretender. You feel like an imposter. You're like, I'm not good enough. Who am I to even try? Yet even as you've ignored it, the dream keeps echoing. It waits in the shadows. It burns in the silence. It haunts you with every sunrise. What if I told you from the ancient wisdom of Hermeticism, or the Emerald Tablets, Confucianism, or Buddhism, that all tell you the same thing, that it is not too late and it has never been too late. In fact, your real journey may be only just beginning. You know, there's a thing about Samuel L. Jackson that he's a famous actor, but the whole thing is that he didn't even start until his mid 50s, meaning that there was something he felt that he was called to do, but he didn't do it until much later in life. And yet you see how well that's turned out for him, even at such an age. Because what? Mid 50s is what? 50 years old or 50 years young? We are conditioned to believe that life has a timeline, that success has an age limit, that wisdom only arrives in youth, and once the window closes, it's done. But that's like Maya. That is a modern illusion. In Hermeticism, the first Hermetic principle, the principle of mentalism, teaches that all is mind. Reality is shaped by thought. The divine spark within you is eternal. It does not age. It does not retire. It does not expire. To say it's too late is to betray your own divinity. It's to concede your own mission long before you even ever tried. Think about this quote from the Emerald Tablets. Man is a flame bound to a mountain, but that flame can rise. The thing is, that mountain is time, and the flame is you. So many people suffer not because they have no calling, but because they believe that the calling should have arrived sooner, or they believe it's reserved for only those who look the part, those who act the part, that it was just a dream, a fanciful notion. It's not for you, but that's all a lie, and you can overcome that. The Tao of the universe has no calendar. Think about the great lie of the imposter. We'll talk about that imposter syndrome that I mentioned earlier. That creeping voice inside, I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified, people will laugh, I don't belong, what chance in heck do I have? Even as the Buddha faced self doubt before his enlightenment, as he sat beneath the Bodhi tree, the demon Mara came to tempt him, not just with fear and pleasure, but with the accusation, Who are you to become awakened? And the Buddha responded not with pride, but with stillness. He touched the earth. The earth bore witness to his worthiness. The lesson to be learned here: you don't have to feel worthy. You don't have to feel ready. You are ready when you say you are ready. Buddhism teaches anatta, the doctrine of non self, that the fixed identity you cling to is an illusion. You're not a static thing. You are becoming. So even when you feel like an imposter, who is the I that feels that way? Just a story in the mind. Think about it like this. Was it Harold Dworkin, I believe, in the field of education, who said that a lot of kids very early on get this idea in their head. And that idea they get in their head is I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I'll never succeed at that. I hate that. That's my weakness. I'm never going to be good at it, and so I'm not even going to try. But what she teaches us in the education field is that people always think that people are natural prodigies. Things come easy for them. And you know what? Maybe to some extent, things might come easier for some people than others, but everybody is capable of doing everything. We need to get out of that mindset that only certain types of people have the ability to be somewhere, because what they teach you in the education field is simple. Every child can do. And so as a result, the idea of saying, well, this person is going to special advanced classes for geniuses, and this person is going to remedial class, that's all something that is created in our heads, that it's not really the true way things should be. That in fact, in other countries, like I know the United States is very competitive, so the United States doesn't do that. But in other countries, they have the idea that, you know what, it doesn't matter if some people in the class are faster and brighter than others. We're not going to leave the people who feel slower or who feel like they can't do it behind. The class doesn't move forward until everyone has mastered the lesson. Everyone has learned the lesson. You stick with your team and you work through it together. You don't make people feel ashamed. So when you change your inner belief system, your external reality begins to respond. But if you see yourself as someone not qualified, someone too old, someone too late, someone who just isn't cut out for that kind of thing, then your outer world is going to conform to that, and it will remain that, because you have created the complex in your own mind, and you have created the reality where you're going to be exactly that. Whatever you say you're no good at, you will remain no good at. But when you begin to see yourself as aligned with the all, as a fracture of the divine intelligence, the world around you starts to reshape to meet that frequency. Because remember, your ego is an illusion. What you think you are is an illusion. The mind is not a prisoner. The mind is not a prisoner of age. The soul is not confined to chronology. And you are not confined to the abilities you think you only have. The moment you begin to believe, the universe begins to believe with you. You're never too late to your own purpose. The stage appears when you're ready to walk on it. And so let's talk about this Confucian lesson on this. And I want you to picture, as you will, bamboo trees that are swaying gently in the wind. Confucianism is the path of the noble person. The Junzi is not measured in success compared to others. That's where people go wrong all the time. You see other people doing things and you think, man, they are so lucky. I wish I had that life. I wish I could be like them. But you're doing something wrong. You need to think about sincerity, about self cultivation, and contribution to harmony. Confucius said, it does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. He also taught that virtue, not external recognition, is the highest attainment. So when you begin to pursue something you love, even if it happens to be later in life, you are not doing it to win a trophy. You are doing it because it cultivates your spirit. That is nobility. That is sacred. In Confucianism, one's character is refined over decades. Wisdom blossoms with effort, age, and virtue, not being a natural prodigy. You are not behind, you are ripening. Your dream is your spiritual contract. Think of it in this way. Let's go deeper. What if the thing you wanted to do, that longing to write, that longing to teach, that longing to build, that longing to sing or heal, what if it isn't random? What if that's part of your spiritual contract? In Hermeticism, desire aligned with the higher self is seen as divine intention, seeking manifestation in the material world. Your dream didn't come to you by accident. It was assigned to you, not to someone younger, not to someone more credentialed, not to someone more confident. It was assigned to you and only you for the purposes of your journey. And what I mean by that is this: you're not here to replicate other people's stories. You're here to replicate your own story. The Buddha's journey even was not instant. He left a palace. He wandered in uncertainty. He faced rejection. He practiced severe austerity. And finally, in the depths of stillness, he found the middle way. Likewise, your path may seem delayed, but maybe it has been refining you. Maybe you've been getting there in divine timing at the speed you were meant to get there. That nothing is a mistake, nothing is lost, nothing is forsaken. You will get there when you were meant to get there. But you have to believe and you have to keep striving and you have to not let anything give you a complex or make you think you'll never get to the destination that you only dream of. There's a beautiful teaching in Buddhism, anicca, impermanence. It means everything is always changing, always. And that is good news because it means you can change too. You are not fixed. That was the whole point of when I was talking about Cal Dworkin and the educational studies, is you're not condemned to the past. You're not bound by who you think you are, by who made people thought you were. You are far greater than that. You are a caterpillar that becomes a butterfly, not by force, but by natural process. You can emerge into a higher version of yourself no matter your age. In fact, your highest version of yourself in the future is calling you because your highest version of yourself has already gotten there. And so now they're looking back to you in this time period and they're calling you. You can do it. You can get here. We are so happy in the future, but we're also waiting for you to take that step towards being happy, towards that transmutation, the alchemical process of turning base metals into gold. In spiritual terms, it is the refinement of the soul. Do not mourn the years you feel you've lost or the opportunities you think you squandered. The moment now is an invitation to rebirth. So think of your discipline, right? Because I always talk about discipline. Think about your discipline as a spiritual practice. In both Confucianism and Buddhism, discipline is not punishment, it is devotion. It is to pursue something difficult, like a new career, a creative dream, or a calling you've long suppressed, but it requires effort, and this effort is holy. The Confucian concept of Li, ritual propriety, teaches that regular, intentional practice sanctifies your actions. In Buddhism, daily effort is on the Eightfold Path, and it is a means of liberating your soul. So don't wait until you feel motivated. Don't wait for clarity. Don't wait till you're confident. You'll never get there. You'll always feel like just one more day, and then truly you will have passed on. And your soul is eternal. So you're not going to necessarily die and not ever experience anything again. But if you want to make the most of this incarnation, why you incarnated to this form on this earth in this fraction of time, or if time even really exists, you start where you are each day. You repeat, you fall, you try again. Every act of showing up is a ritual. Every time you honor your calling, you honor the divine with you. Become known for the person who kept trying even in the face of failure. Don't die with the music still in you. Like I said, you're eternal, but you came here to this incarnation to have a chance to experience something truly beautiful, something truly divine, and you don't want to let that slip away where you go to your graves with songs that you never played, stories that you never wrote, visions you never explored. You have to listen not to fear, but to truth. Don't let that become your story. If you've always wanted to start a garden, start one. If you've always wanted to teach, create a class. If you've always dreamed of painting, take out the canvas, brush your first stroke. If your heart aches to build, then get your hammer, get your pieces of wood, your nails, and start to build. The Tao Te Ching says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's not a metaphor, it's literal. That single step, it might look like reading one page, sending one email, buying one brush, and in that moment, the universe leans in to meet you. Hello, how are you doing, new person? Guess what? we can do anything. You have a clean slate. So move forward as if today might even be your last. Because you know why? You don't know how much time you have here. Unfortunately, we have people who passed away. A lot of people have passed away, I know, in my life that I looked up to, I respected, I treasured. A lot of them died younger than me. And I think about that. I think, why, God? Why, oh, why did that have to happen? But you know what? That was their journey. This is mine. And so every day, every hour that I'm blessed to be here, I'm going to make the most of it because I have too much at stake to dwindle and to shrink myself and to not pursue my dreams. Much of our resistance doesn't come from reality, it comes from shame. We're ashamed of our age. We're ashamed of our doubts. We're ashamed that we waited so long. But Confucius, Buddha, Hermes, none of these sages ever spoke of shame as a tool for growth. Quite the opposite. They speak of compassion. They speak of patience. They speak of progress. Be kind to that inner child in you. That inner child in you that longs to do many things. Your spiritual path is not a race. Yes, I tell you to run to the calling, but I'm not telling you that you have to get there at a certain time. You're not late. You're not defective. You're not disqualified. The divine is not judging your timing. Quite the opposite. Everything is in place, falling neatly towards where you need to go. You just need to celebrate your own return. The world needs more people doing the thing that they were born to do, that they were meant to do, that they signed contracts before they incarnated to do. Not because of fame, not because of money, but because when one person comes alive, it sparks life in others. We're all interconnected. Nothing is random. Nothing is some sort of, you know, like idea that we just all just do things just to do it. No, 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 no. It all happens part of the divine plan, the divine mystery that is not revealed to us, but that's part of the game. We don't always have all the answers, but if we think deeply on them and we trust our heart, we will find those answers. And that's how Dharma operates. That is the Hermetic current. That is the Confucian ideal. When you run towards what you once feared that was beyond you, you show others what's possible and you bring light into the world and you slowly make this world a better place where you inspire everyone to be their very best. And suddenly your dream becomes not just your healing, but your gift to the world. So run towards the dream, even if your hands shake at the thought of it, even if your voice quivers trying to get the words out, even if you think you've missed your time, because the truth is the time is now and you are ready. If this message resonated with you, well, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Unrelenting Alchemist, to this channel. It's people like you that keep this going. And drop a comment below which of you are going to run towards that calling. Talk about it in the comments. This is the Unrelenting Alchemist, reminding you your spirit is not prey and you are powerful. This is why the demons, those who cannot, who will not, those who run away because they're fearful and don't understand the way things are to be, they will always be your opponents. They will be your nemesis. They will try to hold you back because they're too afraid to try out for their dreams, so they want to crush yours. Remember, until next time, you stay protected, you stay radiant, you stay unrelenting because you're chosen. You chose this mission. Now it's time to show those people who are fighting you, who are working against you, what a chosen one can do. You are a chosen one. You must act like it. You must march forward knowing that heaven is behind you, that your ancestors and an army of angels are behind you. So thank you for joining me in this sacred hour. This has been the Unrelenting Alchemist. Until next time, walk wisely, walk bravely, and when the dark calls, answer not with fear, but you answer, my collective, my dear sweet collective, with fire and light. Take care. And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you.